Okay, so you're thinking about getting a website built, or maybe redoing your old one, and you hear about this web design discovery process. Sounds kind of official,
A
right?
little bit, yeah.
Like maybe I need a special password just to learn about it, but also it sounds important, right? Like maybe I shouldn't just skip over this discovery process thing. So that's exactly what we're deep diving into today.
Love it.
We're going to break this whole thing down, make it crystal clear why it matters and why you should actually be excited about it.
I'm already excited. And you're right, it's not just jargon. This discovery phase is like the foundation for your whole website. It's about understanding you, what you want to achieve, who you're talking to.
It's like going to the doctor for a website checkup before you get the actual website surgery.
That's a good way to put it.
So our source material today is this article from a company called Now Technology Systems. They're based in Australia, but what they're saying applies everywhere. And they really drive home this point that the discovery phase is crucial. They even compare it to, get this, building a house.
Yeah, you wouldn't build a house without a blueprint, and
Yeah.
you shouldn't build a website without one either.
Exactly. So the article breaks down this discovery process into 6 key elements. Let's dive into those, starting with understand the business. What's that all about? Are they asking for my coffee order?
No, it's not about your caffeine preferences. It's about understanding your brand, your story, your values, your unique selling proposition, what makes you stand out from the crowd. They want to capture that essence and translate it into your website.
Okay, so it's about more than just a logo and some pretty pictures.
Way more. It's about creating an online experience that truly reflects who you are.
I like it. What's next?
Next is define goals and objectives. This is huge. What are you hoping to achieve with your website? Are you looking to increase sales, generate leads, build a community?
Or maybe all of the above.
Exactly. Defining those goals up front gives your website a clear purpose.
Otherwise, it's like setting sail without a destination in mind. You're just drifting around hoping to bump into something good.
And that rarely ends well. That's why this next element is so important. Identify your target audience.
Right, because who you're trying to reach with your website makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Who are they? What are their needs, their interests, their pain points? Understanding your audience is crucial for creating content that resonates with them and a design that speaks directly to their preferences.
So like a website designed for hardcore gamers is going to look a lot different than one aimed at, say, knitting enthusiasts, right?
Exactly. You've got to know who you're knitting that website for.
Right.
And speaking of competition, the next element is where things get interesting.
Okay, bring on the competition. Element number 4, competitive analysis. And be honest, how much time do you spend checking out what your competitors are doing online?
Labs. Maybe more than I should admit, but it's all in the name of research, right?
Right, so this isn't about being nosy or copying what everyone else is doing.
It's about understanding the landscape of your industry. What are your competitors doing well? Where are the opportunities to differentiate yourself? It's about learning from both the successes and the mistakes of others.
Instead of reinventing the wheel, you can learn from what's already working out there. Or not working, as the case may be. Okay, what's next on our website blueprint checklist?
Now it's time to talk content.
Ah, yes, because a pretty website is useless without good content.
Exactly. Element number 5 is content strategy, and this is where we get into the nitty-gritty of your website. The words, the images, the videos, everything that tells your story and engages your audience.
It's like having a fancy restaurant with terrible food. No one's coming back for more, no matter how nice the decor is.
Exactly. And speaking of the right ingredients...
Hold on, you're going to talk about the tech stuff now, aren't you?
Well, it had to come up eventually, right? Element number 6, technical requirements.
Sounds scary.
It's not as intimidating as it sounds. It's really about outlining what your website needs to be able to do. Do you need e-commerce capability so people can buy products directly from your site?
Oh yeah, good point.
Do you need a blog to share your industry insights and connect with your audience? What about a member portal? These are all examples of technical requirements.
Okay, wow. We just went through those 6 elements, and I have to say, it's way more to think about than I ever realized.
Right. It can feel like a lot, but it's worth it.
Okay, convince me. Why is it worth it?
Think about it this way. You wouldn't plan a cross-country road trip without at least looking at a map.
Okay, that's true. You'd probably at least figure out where you're going to sleep every night.
Exactly. You need to know where you're headed and the best way to get there. This discovery process, it's like creating a roadmap for your website. It helps you define your destination, your goals, and then figure out the best route to get there, all while avoiding any dead ends or unnecessary detours.
So it's not just about having a cool-looking website. It's about having a website that actually works.
Exactly. A website that's strategically designed to help you achieve your specific goals, whether that's increasing sales, generating leads, building brand awareness.
Okay, I'm sold. The roadmap analogy is working for me. Now, this article also really stresses the importance of communication throughout the entire process. So it's not just about doing this discovery thing once and then never talking to your web designer again.
Definitely not. This isn't a set it and forget it kind of deal. It's an ongoing conversation, a true collaboration between you and your web team.
So what does that look like in real life? Like, how often should I be bugging my web designer with questions?
It doesn't have to be about bugging them. Think of it more like regular check-ins, keeping those lines of communication open throughout the whole process.
So what, like weekly calls,
Yeah.
daily emails, smoke signals?
Whatever works best for you and your team. Some people prefer quick weekly calls, others like more detailed email updates. The important thing is to find a rhythm that allows for open communication and feedback.
So don't be afraid to ask questions, share your thoughts, and make sure your voice is heard.
Exactly. Remember, it's your website.
Yeah.
You're the one who has to live with it in the end, so speak up and make sure it reflects your vision.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's say we've done all of this. We've gone through the whole discovery process, had those regular check-ins, everyone's on the same page. What's next? What does a successful outcome actually look like at this stage?
At the end of a successful discovery phase, you should have a crystal clear website blueprint.
So, like a super detailed roadmap but for my website.
Exactly. It should outline everything from the sitemap and functionality to the design direction and content strategy. Basically, everything you need to actually start building the website with confidence.
So it's like you're handing the web developers a set of instructions they can actually follow instead of just saying, make me a website and make it pretty.
Exactly. You're giving them a clear vision and actionable steps, which ultimately saves everyone time, money, and a whole lot of potential headaches down the line.
It's amazing to think how many people probably just skip this whole process and then wonder why their website isn't performing the way they hoped.
It happens all the time. But that's why understanding the value of this discovery phase is so important. It's not just a box to tick, it's the foundation for a successful website.
It's like that saying, measure twice, cut once.
Yes. And in this case, discover thoroughly, build brilliantly.
I love that. Okay, so for our listeners who are thinking, this is all great, but where do I even begin? What's the one big takeaway you want them to leave with?
Honestly, understanding this process is valuable even if you're not ready to start building a website today.
Like even if you're just in the dreaming about my future website phase.
Exactly, because it gets you thinking strategically about your online presence. Just by starting to ask yourself these questions about your goals, your target audience, what you want to achieve online, it can make a huge difference when you're ready to build that website.
It's like gathering ingredients before you start baking. You want to make sure you have everything you need before you turn on the oven.
Yeah?
We are back, and I'm still thinking about that website roadmap.
It's important, right? That whole discovery process can make all the difference.
Huge. And honestly, it's got me thinking. Even with a roadmap, some people are better at navigating than others. What if someone listening is like, okay, I'm ready for this website thing, but I don't know if I trust myself to actually build it.
That's so smart. You don't have to do it all yourself.
Right, like I wouldn't try to build a house myself. That's why they're experts.
Exactly. And it's the same with websites. If you're new to this, or even if you just want some extra support, there are amazing web designers, developers, content strategists.
SEO specialists. Don't forget about those SEO wizards.
Yes, all these experts who can help you bring your vision to life.
That's like that old saying, if you want something done right.
Hire someone who's done it a million times before.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something we mentioned earlier. The article we've been deep diving into is from an Australian company.
Right. Now, technology systems.
Yeah. But does location even matter when it comes to websites? Is website building somehow different in Australia? Do they use like kangaroo-themed coding language or something?
Laughs. As far as I know, the internet is a global language. What we've been talking about, defining your goals, knowing your audience, all that good stuff, it's universal.
It's like learning a new language. Once you know the basics, you can talk to people all over the world.
Exactly. A well-designed website, it's your way to connect with a global audience.
I love that. So, as we wrap things up here, what's the one big takeaway you want to leave our listeners with?
I hope they realize how powerful a well-planned website can be. It's not just about having something that looks pretty, although that's important too.
Of course, we love a pretty website.
Absolutely. But it's about so much more than that. A website is a dynamic tool. It can educate your audience, it can engage them, it can even turn them into loyal customers or clients. But like any powerful tool, you have to know how to use it.
And that's what this whole discovery process is all about.
100%. It gives you that knowledge, that foundation to really make your website work for you.
Love it. And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive.
Already, time flies when you're talking about websites.
It really does. But seriously, a huge thank you to you for breaking this whole thing down for us. And to all of you listening, thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of web design. I hope you learned something new today. Until next time.